The product that I am about to show you is made by QuizCom, and QuizCom produces add-ons and the apps for SharePoint as well as SharePoint on-premises and SharePoint Online from 2005. And most importantly, these products or the apps or the add-ons, if you want to use, then you do not require more developer knowledge on this. And so basically, these are the products that we are going to discuss about. So in today's webinar, we are going to talk about an overview of Calendar Plus web part. Then I will show you how we can connect the web part to various data sources. And also I will show in demos how to configure Calendar UI and the UI enhancements. And finally, I'll show you how to integrate this web part as a tab in Microsoft Teams. Now let us give me an overview of this product, which is Calendar Plus app. So the Calendar Plus app actually is a client-side SPFX web part, which is developed using SPFX development technique, and this is available for SharePoint Online and SharePoint 2019 Server and Microsoft Teams. This web part actually will aggregate events from various sources like the Exchange Online, SharePoint List, and SharePoint Aggregation, and and then it will display them in a customized layout. So the sources can be, as I said, SharePoint List. It can be local and remote, and also we can display the items from multiple sites and list through the SharePoint aggregation and from Exchange Online Calendar. This part, we can show aggregate events from multiple lists and sites, and also aggregate the SharePoint Online calendars using Microsoft Graph API. Actually, this calendar set, Calendar Plus web part is a part of a bundle called QuizCom Data View Toolset. So this is the bundle, and it has various SPFX web parts, and all aggregate data and display in different ways, such as like QuizCom Aggregator, QuizCom Organization Chart, or QuizCom List View, like this. So in this, first of all, in this section or this demo, I will show you how we can connect to a single SharePoint list, and then I'll show you how we can use the SharePoint list aggregator, and we can display the items from multiple sites. And then I will show you how we can display the events from personal calendars. Now, first of all, I will open the SharePoint site. So if I'll show you, this is my SharePoint site, which and this has a team calendar where you can see various events are there. Now I have a modern page here. You can see here, this is the modern page, and in this modern page, we are going to add first of all a web part. So I'll click on edit this page. So you can see here, and then first I will add a section. I will make 2-column layout, and then we will add the web part in multiple layers. So first I'll click on this, and then if you'll see here, there will be a Calendar Plus web part. You will get it. Click on that, and then this is the Calendar Plus. As I told you before, there are group of web parts in this, because this is a part of on the data view toolset, and you will get this many web parts on that. I'll click on that, and once you click on that, in the right side it will actually show you various options over here. First thing is the data source. In this particular case, I will select SharePoint list, but in some time I'll show you how we can use the Graph API as well as the list aggregator. So I'll select the SharePoint list, and then you can see here it will ask you to provide a SharePoint site URL. If you have the calendar or the list, it is in different sites, then you can provide the site URL. Since it is in the same site, I'll not change. I'll not provide the site URL. So if you will not provide anything, it will take the current site URL. You can see it here. and then it will display all the list, and you can select it, and you will be able to select the list which is in my case it is team calendar. So I will select the team calendar, and then you can define here how many items or the number of items that you want to add, and then the CSS file, if you have any CSS file you can provide that. If you want to do some customization, and if you have CSS file, you can put this. Basically you can put the CSS file in a site asset library, and you can provide the path here. And then this is to keep the cache. And if I'll select next, this is a screen where you can define the column mapping, and it will be same for all this whatever the configurations or whatever the data source that mostly we will select. You will be getting a column mapping column. So if you'll see here, there is a subject, and we are displaying the title, then location, description, category, and start time and end time. And so now if I'll click on this, you can see here it is displaying me all the events from this calendar. Next, what I will do is I will show you another. We will see how we can configure the layouts just a little later. But next, let me show you how we can add another web part where actually you will be able to display the items from multiple lists. So if you'll see here, I will, since I just want to take a full layout, so I will on this section, basically I'll add the web part. So if you'll see here, I will add the calendar plus web part again, and I will select the same calendar plus here. Now to show this list aggregator, now we are going to see the list aggregator, basically how we can display the items from multiple sites. So before that, let me show you my site. So if you'll see here, there is a QWIZ demo site, and it is having a list is also there, which is known as the milestone list. So if you'll see here, there's a milestone list, and in this milestones list, I have project milestones over here. Also, it has various views where you can define the billable milestones, for example, where the milestones in this current week, and then you can have a upcoming milestone. So all these views are there in the upcoming milestone. The milestones will display in which are after 2 weeks. So if I'll just select, you can see here these are the views are there. So delayed milestone, where the milestone or the date is already gone on today's date. So this is one list which is there in my parent site. If I will show you in this parent site, I have 4 subsites on that. If you'll see here, I have project 1, project 2, project 3, and project 4 subsite. And each subsite is also having, you can see here, each subsite is having, you can see here, there's a project 1 site, and each subsite have a milestone a list over there, which is having some events, some milestones for the projects, and also each site or each list is having some views are there. Now on this, we will see how we can display the milestone or the events from multiple sites. So basically from all my 4 subsites, including my parent site, uh, which is this one, this milestone list in the list aggregator web part, through the list aggregator web part. Now, when we'll actually go here in the list aggregator web part, first of all, you need to select the data source. And then if you'll see here, there is a current site we are taking. And next, it will ask you the list and the view for which you are targeting, or which is the filter option that you are taking. So if I will select here the SharePoint list, if you'll see here, I have a list known as milestones. And in this, I will select the calendar view. And next, if you'll see here, the same thing will be having the maximum number of items. So you can you can increase or decrease. And similarly, the maximum number of items per list, how many items you want to show. And the new item URL, basically if you'll click on that, the new icon, so it will open the new item URL. Once we have this, then we need to add one aggregation scope. So this is very important because here we need to actually define or we need to take the pattern on which we are trying to retrieve the sites or the list. So if I will click on this, you can see here. First of all, we will provide a name here. So I will say project milestones, and then this option in the aggregation scope, you have different options. For example, here, if you want to take the entire site collection or any specific site or specific sites and subsite, or you can also provide if you want to set the scope for a particular list only. So I will select entire site collection. So you can see here, then it is showing the starting SharePoint site URL. So we will take the current site URL because this is the site collection that we are using. And then you can see here, if you want to set the list pattern. So our pattern is the list name. So I will select milestones. So if you have multiple a list with different name, try to figure out a pattern, or you can also use, you can add another aggregation scope and you can set that. So I will say milestones here, and also then we can define the list type. So in this case, it will be of type events, and also you can define the title for the sites. So if you have, let's say, project, so I can, or I have project 1, project 2 and project 3, so I can give a pattern for like project. So you make a pattern, or your list name or the site name, both the things follow the same patterns. So there should be something common that you want to add it, or you want to display it in the pattern. And then I will enable it. You can also select the content type. So I have enabled it, and if you'll see here now, the next if you'll do, you will be having the same calendar column mapping. So we have the same option that you can see it here. Now if I'll close, you can see here, I can see all these meetings or these milestones from various projects. So if you'll see here, I have to understand it properly, I have started with project 1 or project 2 in the milestone, so that we'll be able to know that these are starting, or this belongs to the project 1 or project 2. So if you'll see here, there is a project 1 high level discussion, and this is why I given project 1. So now this is how we can see how we can display the list aggregator. We will see in the next demo how I will highlight how we can display, let's say, the milestones. Suppose the delayed milestones I want to see from all this, or I want to see based on the site. So we'll do these things shortly. Now the last one I will do here is I will show you how we can use our display the items from the calendar, Exchange Online calendar, through the Graph API. Now, in this case, by using the Graph API, we will be able to display the items from, in this case, from an Exchange calendar. But if you will use, let's say, the one of the other app like Organize and Chat app, where we can use the Graph API to connect to Azure AD. So it depends on the web part that we are using and the data source that it based on that only we have to select it. Now, if I'll click on this, I will add the calendar plus web part, and same thing, I will select the calendar plus, and here you can see I will select the Graph API. So if you are seeing the pro, means it is available in the pro version of this calendar plus app. So I'll select Graph API Pro, and you can see here we need to provide the Graph API path. Then the you can select the columns, the filter statement. For this example, or for this demo, I will say load graph example, and it will actually take my calendar details. So if I'll click on that, then it will actually take my calendar details or my calendar events. So if you'll see here, we have it automatically take the path for my calendar and the columns as well, but you can change these things. And few of the same settings, like the number of items you want to retrieve, and also if you'll come down and if you'll go to the next, you can see here the column information, what are the column that we are picking off, and then finally the mapping. As I said, everywhere we'll be having the column mapping. So you can see here the column mapping that it is displaying. Now, if I'll actually publish this page, we will be able to see how we can see the my calendar, and these are the events are coming from my Outlook. So my Outlook has some of the events. So if I'll just open Outlook quickly, so you'll be able to see here. I'll go to my calendar, and you can see these are few of the events that I have, and it is showing over here. So this way we can display the my calendar events, and here we saw from a single list, and this one we saw in a list aggregator. Now next we will see how we can configure this calendar UI, and here basically we will see what are the calendar UI options are available on this. So first of all, what we will do is I will let me just edit this web part, and then I will actually let me show you that there are various controls are available on each on any if you'll see any calendar web part, there are various controls are available, and by default if you'll see here it is showing that switch to advanced mode. That means now it is in simple mode. The reason behind that is we want to display, or by default we want to display a simpler UI for the non-technical users, and then anytime you can switch, and then you will be having you can add or remove more controls, and also you can see more properties over there. So in case of the simple mode, the controls are fixed, and there will be less properties which are very most common properties will be displayed. But in advanced mode, you will be having more properties you can display. So if I will just quickly edit this web part, you can see here I will just edit it here, and or let me just edit this web part, because here we have in full layout. So if you can see here, when you will actually edit this web part, you can see here it is showing switch to advanced mode, and if you'll click on this, you will be able to see more controls on this. For example, when we click, if you click on this, you can see here there is a calendar view, which is this view that we are seeing. Then you can see the list. There will be table, then there will be condition formatting where we can do the condition formatting. I'll show you that. Then you have the filter option where we can see how we can use various filter options over there, and then folders, similarly groups, where actually we can display the items in groups, and then there will be menu bar, and paging and tabs. So these you can these are self-explanatory. You can see here paging, you can see in paging options and tabs. Let me quickly show you some of the advanced options here. For example, if I will click on the menu bar, so if you'll see here, when the menu bar has been added, and each bar will be having a gear icon or a settings icon, you can just click on this, and you will be able to come to this menu bar option. If you can see here, now on this you can see here there is switch to simple mode. If I'll click on this, you can see I'll be able to see less number of options here. If I'll click on advanced, then you can see you can also select other things and you can change it. If you'll see here, there is top actions are there. These are the actions which you can see it here. For example, the selected item, there is export to Excel, there is deleted selected item, and anytime actually on the button, if you'll see here, new item is there. If I'll actually scroll down, you will be able to see the new item here. You can see this new item, and this is coming from there. So you can, if you want, you can actually easily add with little developer knowledge. So if I'll click on this add, you can see here, and if you'll just click on this, you can see you'll be able to set a option here. For example, let's say, let me first select the action. Let's say you want to see a properties, you want to do call phone, so you can select this, and then you can have an icon here. For example, this is the call phone icon, and you can little change with this JavaScript code, and then if you'll see here, I will simply put call the name. And if I will now just come back, and if I'll just scroll down, you can see here there's a call button has been added here. So similarly, if I will go to the advanced section. If you'll see here, there will be some other options are there. For example, if I'll click on the list option, you can see here there is these items are coming in the list view, and you have the options where you can switch or we can set up things. For example, in this case, the item click will actually select this item, and then you can change it here. Suppose on the click of item you want to view this item, or you want to call item click action, so you can select those options here. And the title will come the title field, and then similarly subtitle, description, like this we can have. And then if you'll see here, there are item actions are there. If I'll just click close, and then you can right side, you will be able to see here, these are the options which are appearing here. Anytime you can also click on this settings and icon of any of these options, and you will be able to go to this designer screen. Similarly, if I'll say the table view, you can see here, you will be able to, the items will be displayed in the tabular format. You can see it here, and you will be having same kind of options are there in this table. If you are confused with this as a non-technical user, then you can anytime you can click on this, and you will be able to go to the simpler view where you can just display, or you'll be having very limited options will be there, but very helpful options, and you do not need any technical knowledge for those things as well. Now, similarly, if I'll show you, we will discuss about the conditional formatting, filter, folder, groups, and menu paging and tabs later. Now, let me show you. Let's go to the calendar view. Now, what I will show you is the calendar options. So if you'll see here, let me show over here in this web part. So in this web part, if you'll see here, there is a calendar option you can see, and there is a settings icon. If I'll click on this, you'll be able to see here. First of all, if you these are the you can see here, these are the simpler options that, or the simple mode is coming here. You can see by default it is saying which view you want to open. If you'll see here, I have month view, and that is what is selected. If I want, I can start with the week view or the day list view. These are the views that has been added, and that is the reason you can see month, week, and day. If I will just add one more, if you'll see here, I'll click on add, and I will say week list view. You can see here, and one week list view has been added here. And if I want to change anytime, I can go here and I can change the month list, which should open by default. So if you'll see here, this web part now will open with this week list view, and you can see here one more option has been added. And anytime you can click on any view, and you will be able to see the items here. So if I want to show in week list, you can see here, this is how it will come. If you want to display with day list, for example, this is one of the web part where I want to see my today's events. So you can actually go to the settings, and you can change the day list view. So the default or the start view will come this day list view, and you will be able to see only today's items over here. Now, next, what I will show you is we will see how we can do some UI enhancements. And here basically we'll see how we can highlight some of the events by the column names, and then I will show you how we can also highlight events by the source. For example, we want to see the events which are basically from a particular site, and also I will show you how we can display the items which are already or where the milestone has been delayed. Now on this, so I will just open my calendar page. If you'll see here, so I will just open the month view, and in this view, if you'll see here, there are a lot of events are there, and we can actually filter it, and we can display based on the category. So if I'll just, you can see here, there is a filter option is there, and on this, if you'll see here, I will click on this, and you can see here. Um, Let me just go here. We will do the conditional formatting first. So if I'll click on the conditional formatting, you can see here, you can see view options on that. For example, there is show legend on the top. So basically if I'll on it, then in the top, the color will come, and I'll show you how we can filter it. And by default the button one is always enabled. And also if you want to show in the left or right, you can select these options. Now here is our conditional formatting, and if you'll see here there is a add button is there. Click on that and I'll show you how simple is this to add these conditions. So if I'll click on this, basically if what is the thing that you want to do, for example if you want to change the color or the background color, those things we can see it. And let me just click here. So what we will do here is I will change the background color. So for example, I'll take this background color green, and we will show the entire item, and you can select or highlight, or in the new you can show these options. And now main thing is we will put the condition. So I'll click on no condition, and then if you'll see here we can add the condition. So for example, I'll see here category is equal to, let's say, meeting, and I will save and close. If you'll see here now, you can see here all these meetings are in green color. So similarly, if I will just add one more condition where I will say, let's say the background color to be blue, and here I will add these options. I'll put this condition here, and I will say category is equal to, let's say, bad day. I will, you can put and or conditions also. So if you'll see here, you can see there is blue color which are coming, and it is coming in blue color. So if I will save this page or I'll publish this page, we will be able to see these options, or how you can see here how it is appearing. And this is what I was talking about. So if I want to just see the green ones, you can see I'll just click on this, and only green color one, or whichever our meetings are coming. And you can see here in the top also we have that option. If I'll select the other one, you can see here both options are coming. If I'll deselect the green one, you can see here only birthdays are appearing, whichever is there. So this is one filter that we can do, or sorry, conditional formatting that we are doing. I'll show you one more which is quite interesting. If I'll go to my other list, in this list, if you'll see here, all these are coming in blue color, and it is really difficult to figure out all these milestones from different sites. So if I will go to if you can see here, I will select conditional formatting, so that the conditional formatting is appearing here, and this will be available on the pro option. That's the reason it is coming, and you'll be having the same option. So if I'll actually click on the settings, you can show the legends, and these options we can do. Now click on this add, and then if you'll see here, I can select the background color here. I'll go back here, and we can actually show the first we will show how or what are the expired milestones. I mean whenever wherever the dates are already, or the end date is already gone. So those things I will show, and we will show in basically the in red color. So I'll just put the color here, and if you'll see here, it is in red color, and you can select these options. And if we'll put the condition here, so how we can put the condition here is if I'll select the end time, you can see here, and end time is less than, and then if you'll see here, um, you can have the selected date, or you can say relative date. When I'm saying relative date, you can see here today is coming. If I want, let's say 5 days, so you can see here 5 days after today is there. So you can set after or before today. These options we can select. So for you can see these options. So I will just cancel these changes once. I'll click on condition, and if you'll see here, I will put this end time and is less than today. So you can see here it is showing the condition very easily. You can understand. You can just apply it. And if I will now save and close, if I'll come here, you can see here, these are actually the milestones which are already crossed. So we will be able to know actually these are the milestones which are already expired. You can have more filter conditions, and you can also display the milestones which are upcoming or which are in progress. So those things we can show by adding additional filtering option here. Now, next, I will show you one more thing which I was about to tell you is the site title mapping. For example, if you'll see here, we have a lot of sites here, and I want to see, let's say, based on the sites. For example, if I'll click one more filter, I will put the background color green. And on this, basically, what condition we will put here is if you'll see, not only it has all these columns which are belongs to that particular list, you have some other columns are there as well. If you'll see here, there's a site title property, site URL property. So if I'll put site title equal to, and then we can put the value here. So suppose my site name is project 1. And anytime, let's say if you want to display only project 1 and project 2, so you can put the condition as well. So you can put the or condition, you can have the mapping here. So those things you can do. But let's just see the project 1. So I'll click on apply, and if I'll close this, you can see here in the green color it is showing all these project 1 milestones. Similarly, you can add for project 2, project 3, and any project if you want to highlight, you can just highlight over here in these filters. Now, next I will show is how we can use the custom filters. So these are really very useful, these custom filters. Um, for example, so in this one, I will show you actually how we can configure filter with additional columns as well. So if I will come here, so if we'll click on this one, we can have the additional filter. So you can see here filter pro is there. So once you select it, this section will be added here. You can see here now the section is added here, the filter pro option, and by default if you'll see it is having one option over here. And if I'll go to the settings icon, you can see here you can actually add multiple filters as well. So if you want to have single or additional single filter or the option, you can just click here and you will be able to search things. But I will show you how we can add columns here. For example, here if you'll see, I will click on add a column, and we can actually select the column. Let me just add it in our single view, single list. So I will just add it here. I will click on this. I will add the filter pro, and if you'll see here, I'll go to the settings icon and I will click on this add column, and I will select category here. So now if you'll see here, the category is added. I'll just close it here. And if you'll actually see, let me go to the month view. So if you'll actually see it now here, we can have a category where we can search. If I'll click on this, you will be able to see actually the categories. So the available categories. For example, if I'll select birthday, you can see here it is showing only birthday. If I will select, let's say business, you can see here all the business meetings. If I'll say let's say meetings, you can see here all the meetings it is appearing here. And if you want to select multiple, you can click on this, and then it will actually allow you to select multiple. So I can select birthday and meeting. You can see here, and both the options or both the meetings are coming over here. So apart from that, you can also have a date filter. So if you'll see here, um, I'll click on the settings icon and I will click on add column, and I will say, let's say we can start on the start time. So if you'll see here, come down, there will be start time. You can see here, once I select start time, you can see there will be a start time is search come. And if you'll click on this, you can actually select multiple. So for example, today I'll be able to see all these items for today. And you can see here all these items for only for today. And also if we'll select here, there is all except today you can select, only today you can select. You can select multiple, and you will be having multiple options here. You can see you will be able to add it. Apart from this, if I'll click here, you can also click here, no need to go to settings again. You can also add here in this case, if I'll show you, I can add a filter based on the login username. So or the token which is we usually call me, where it will display the events created by me. So if I'll go here, I will say created by, and if you'll see here, now there is a created by has been added. And if I will, let me delete these things. So in the created by, if you'll see here, I can select this and I'll be able to see the items which are created by me. So if you'll see here, all the items it is showing, because every items I have just created. Most importantly, this whatever the search you are seeing here, you can actually save this for yourself, or you can save this for the multiple users, so that if I'll click on save, so you can see here there are two options it is asking. One thing is save for me and the other one is save only for me. So that means if I'll select save for everyone, so everyone will come to this page, they can see this. But if I'll select save only for me, then it will just only available for me only. So now, so you can select for me, so it every time I'll open it, I can see all the events which are created by me. Now, once you have this, then actually next I'll show you how we can do this little UX enhancements with the controls that we have, which where we can do a group by, or we can use the tabs. So basically, group by we, or the tabs or the groups, we this controls enables a grouping of events by some property, so which we can select from the event source, and this way we can display multiple calendars, and each display different types of source of events. So if I'll open this, let's say we will go to our main calendar. We have a bigger calendar here where we have the items from multiple list. And if I'll click on, we will enable this option. So I'll click on this, and if you'll see here, there is a group by option is there. So once you select group by, you can see here, there is a group by option is coming, and you can see here, you will be able to actually enable on which way you want to do the group by. For example, on this, if I will click on this settings icon, you can see on which way you want to do the group by. And so if I'll select this, and let's say I want to group by based on category. So now you can see here, if I'll just close this, we'll be actually able to see the events by category, so or group by category. So if you'll see here, we have three categories, or whatever the events we have, all these events fall into these three categories: meeting, business, and work hours. So that's the reason we can see three. And if I'll click on this, I'll be able to see this views. If I'll click on this one, then I can see all these business meetings on this. So apart from that, also we can use the tabs. So when we'll actually use the tabs, let me just delete it. We can also have the same option that we can use here. So I'll click on calendar and I'll click on tabs. So when you will click on tab, you will be having the same option you can see here. So I'll click on the settings icon, and if you can see here, we have the options, or the various options are there. For example, I'll click on this group by, and let's say we want to do group by category, and you can have a title. And then if you'll see here, if I'll do render as tabs, you can see here by default, here it is. So it is coming on the tab view. So you can see here, I can see these items which are meetings. You can see it here. So if I'll click on business, you'll be having different set of categories here. And in the tabs, I can see the work hours as well. Pretty easy and simple to configure, and we can see a lot of information and related information. Apart from that, if you want to also see by the, let's say I want to see by the source, so I will select the site title in this case. So if you'll see here, I selected site title, and now we can see project one, so project two, project one, three, four, and this is our main site. So you can select any one and you will be able to see the sites. You can see here all these project four meetings are coming. You can see the starting with project 4. Just for the convenience, I put project 4 at the beginning. So you can see based on the data source also, we will be able to see these things. So so this is how we can display it here, or we can see actually how we can use this group by or this tab and groups things. Um, Now let me show you how we can do the MS Teams integration. Teams is now a lot of organizations are using, and we will see how we can add this app into our Teams as a tab. So one thing I will show you, while two things in fact. One thing is we have to sync to Teams. First of all, if you want this web part to available in the Teams, or the app to be available on the Teams, so you have to sync this to Teams in the app catalog. When you actually add this, I will show you that. So if I will just open, I have this is my app catalog site, you can see here, and here is the data view tools, this QuizCom web part. So if I'll go to the files tab, you can see here they just sync to Teams is there. So you can just click on this and then you can do sync to Teams. Other option is while deploying, if you click on deploy, make sure that you select this option, makes this solution available to all sites in the organization, and then click on deploy. So both these things I have already done. So now we will see how we can so a web part in the Teams as a tab. I'll click on this. I will open my Teams here in another tab. You can see here my team is opening. You can see here this is TS Info intranet team is there. So I want to add as a tab here. So if you click on this plus icon, you can see, and then you will be able to see the data view plus this app. If you do not see it here, just click search over here, you will get it. Sometimes it will not come in the frequent section, but you will be able to find it somewhere. Click on this data view plus, and then if you want to post it to the channel about this tab, you can put it. Else you can see here it will allow us to save. So you can see here now it is asking to save. Click on save, and then if you'll see here, now it is coming, and here is the thing that we have to configure. So I'll click on this calendar plus, because this is the app that we will configure. And here we can have the options here. Let's say I will select the SharePoint list, and we will take the site URL. So in this case, I will put this is my site URL. So if you'll see here, I put the site URL and it will show me on the list. So in this case, we have the team calendar. So let's say this is the same team calendar that we want to display. And you can see here, this is the default view how it is coming. And you can, these are the options actually, what are the options that we discussed over there, the same options are presented here. So I'll just close it here, and if you actually want to change it, or if you, let's say this looks a little the whole calendar, if you want to just see the day view, you can just select the day view, and you will be able to see the day view, all this calendar or the events here. To edit or to change the properties, anytime you can just click here, you can go to the settings, and it will open the settings, and you have all the options are same. You can see here, you can see, you click on this configure control or the gear icon or the settings icon, and you can change over the properties. Now so all these options are there. If you want to remove it, you can just remove it. You can rename it. Suppose here I'll just rename my team calendar, and I'll just click on save. So you can see here now it looks perfectly fine, and you can always set also the day view. If you want to set it, let's say only the day view, you can anytime. You can just click on settings, go to the calendar, you can see here, and here it is. So I'll just click on day list, and every time it will now come this day list view every time. So this is how we can add this calendar, or in fact any web part from that bundle will be available in that where you can add as a tab into the Teams. So these are the you can see here, you can download and you can actually check out these apps. Remember, very important thing, these are based on SharePoint hosted app. Few of the apps are SPFX, and then but most importantly, they do not the data never be stored anywhere in QuizCom site or any site. It is there in your tenant only. So that the data wise, nothing is that it is we are taking somewhere or saving somewhere. Everything whatever you are seeing is the configuration that we are doing over there for this particular tenant, and your data will be in the tenant. And these are actually various web parts which are available. You can see here, and you can go to the QuizCom site. You can get your trial today. There is unlimited trial you can use.